Just, our guys put up a fight. I'm disappointed in some of our inability to execute some stuff on offense that we practiced for 2 days. Just our inability to understand the things that we tried to do for practice. But that comes with immaturity on our basketball team. But our guys really tried. We're trying to fix some of the things I'm not happy with. I thought after the first 7 minutes of the game or so, we finally rebounded like a team that I like to coach on both ends of the floor. We went after the ball. We didn't stand there and watch. We threw our bodies around. But they're good. They kind of picked on our freshmen in the second half defensively. They just kind of, put our freshmen on skates and there are three guys, and the young man that's got how about that? How about he had wrist surgery? How about he breaks a bone in his wrist? He plays. He has surgery last Monday, and he played again today with a cast on his hand. That's the stuff, that's why they win. That's the kind of stuff the kind of players that they got. So they put him, Ty Jerome, Kyle Guy, and Hunter in the game. So now they have three high-level ball handlers, shot makers, along with a young man that's playing with a broken wrist. That tells you who he is as a person. And they kind of attacked our freshmen, put us in, and then we did some things because then our freshmen got discouraged. And when you get discouraged, you break down. And when we broke down, they just attacked they are as good a team as I've coached against when they're on offense. They just kind of wait till one guy makes a mistake. And as soon as that guy makes a mistake, they attack you. It's as good as I've, in my 11, 12 years now as a head coach, as good a team as I've played against, that I've coached against, where they're in no rush, But credit to Tony and his guys.
Known for their defense, though.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. So are we. But, he's playing guys that have been playing for 3 years. I'm playing freshmen. And I thought we guarded them pretty good in the first half. What they shoot, 30% from the field or so in the first half? And, but they're real good defensively. And then offensively, they got guys that played together, played in that system. We had that a couple of years ago, and we averaged 87, 88 points a game in the NCAA tournament because you got guys that understand.
Franco, when and what happened with Mike and TJ?
Just practice. I mean, we've had some practice is starting to get competitive. Now we're back to 8, 9 guys. We're starting to get competitive and the way we like them. TJ was just trying to make a play, and there was kind of a, I don't know what to call it, like guy trying in open court, trying to drive, and guys were trying to get inside the ball and just playing hard. And someone fell, and kind of his leg got trapped, and it's a high ankle sprain. So that goes for a while. And then we're trying to fix our rebounding problem. So we've pulled the bubble out. That means what we cover the basket with, so there's no made shots. And it's guys are throwing their bodies around. And he took an accidental elbow kind of to the bridge of his nose. And I don't know if you watched the Duke game yesterday, anyone? When Zion got hit and he had blood both in the mouth, everything. But, he went back in the game. My guy got concussed. So same kind of deal.
Coach, like you said, rebounding was a huge key in this game today. You guys won the rebounds. What do you tell your guys to keep that momentum going?
I got to be honest with you. I wasn't very positive in the locker room. I didn't dwell on the stuff we did right because I thought we gave in. We gave in. Virginia, we didn't sustain the discipline and the unity that we needed to overcome a team like Virginia. So I wasn't negative, but I didn't dwell on things that we did well. I thought we played pretty good in the first half. I mean, we're down one, and we've got them, I don't want to say scrambling, but, you know, kind of got them in a good place. And we let their two guys make back-to-back threes, not because they ran good offense, because we just lost focus on the backside of the zone and didn't realize where their shooter was at. So now instead of going to the locker room feeling good, you go in the locker room down 7. And being down 7 to Virginia is like being down 21 to other people. It's just, and, but we won't keep working. I don't know how to do things any other way. I roll up my sleeves and work, and guys that want to work will eventually grow and get real good. And the guys that don't like to work, me and them will never gonna get along. It's just kind of the way I've done it my whole life.
Going back to TJ and Mike, I know you mentioned for TJ it's an ankle sprain, those usually linger pretty long. Is there a timetable for his return? And for Mike, are you kind of hopeful that he might be able to get back for Saturday's game?
I wish I had an answer for, I don't know. You know, that's going to be part of my new list of stuff that we got to cover in recruiting. Now we got to get them to go in gyms and get punched in the face to see who gets concussed and who don't. I was sitting there watching the Duke game last night, and our stuff went down, and the Zion blood flow and everything was a lot more intense than our guy. But that dude's made out of steel, so he went back out. My guy's concussed, and he'll be out for, who knows, 97 days or so. I got no idea. I don't mess with injuries. We got great doctors here. We got an unbelievable trainer. You know, and no one knows bodies and themselves better than us as individuals. Whenever they're good, our guys will do everything they can to get them ready, and whenever they're good, you know, we'll throw them out there again. Who's that? Yeah, that concussion stuff, the lights, noise gives you headaches. So, yeah, so it's, you know, it's, didn't Mike Leach get in trouble for that? Because he put a guy in a dark room or something like that? That supposedly, so you want to keep them out of lights and noise and all that stuff. I just want to make sure I didn't say something wrong here. What, oh, God. You see, that's what I was trying to do. I don't want to get in trouble here.
Is there a button you haven't pushed yet with this group, or is it just a pullback, a push? You know, what tactic do you try to spin in to the rest of this week?
Yeah, there's no button. There's no such button with freshmen. It is what it is. You just got to keep teaching. I got a 19-year-old. I've got an 11-year-old. I got a 13-year-old. They drive me absolutely crazy, and they're raised in my house with my rules, with our culture, our beliefs, our name, and they drive me nuts. That don't make them bad. That means that we have to keep teaching so they can grow up and become men and women one day. No different with our players. It's you know, we just, if we play with the resolve that we played with at Michigan in the first half today, we'll be all right. You know, here's the one thing that I'm really, I'm worried about our team, and that's why TJ Moss's loss, Justin Minaya's loss, those two guys got personality, and they're willing to step out of their comfort zone with their personality. Without them, we become mutes again, and that's, rather than what button, there's not a button to push. That's something that I'm worried about. We got to have guys, you know, take ownership and give our team a personality. Because that's why every time we're in these games and it gets hard, gets difficult, we tend to kind of like, you know, and we need that. And we're pushing hard to try and get somebody else to be willing to do that.
Frank, a couple years ago, the knock on this program was that the schedule was, quote, too easy, you know, barely missing the NCAA tournament because of the easy schedule. Now it seems like, you know, it's almost on the opposite end. I'm wondering, just since you've been doing this for so long, is it worth it in the end to schedule such tough opponents? And what can these guys learn by going up against, top 10 teams back to back?
You know, the only thing that continues to bother me about coaching at the University of South Carolina is when we have to continue to answer questions about my team's scheduling soft. I've never scheduled soft. We scheduled real basketball schools that year. It's not my fault that their players transferred and they ended up having bad years. It's like the schedule this year. We didn't put it together in August once we realized our personnel. This schedule was put together 2 years ago. Just like the schedule 2 years ago was put together 2 years before that. We, and I'm including you guys because we're all on the same team here. We have to stop telling the news and the people that we schedule soft. There's nothing soft in my body, how I was raised, how I live, how I've ever coached. Go back and look at the schedules I put together as a head high school coach. I don't believe in soft. Anything soft and me are never getting along. So please stop. You guys that cover our team, stop. It really, it's disrespectful to me. So please stop. Yeah, but the national media don't say our schedule is soft. You guys say soft, not the national media. So stop. I'm done with this soft stuff, man. Yeah, well, who you quoting? Stop. I've answered this 100 times. I'm done with you guys saying that we schedule soft. At K-State, we scheduled top 20. Do you know what our strength of schedule was last year? 27. Does that sound soft to you? Stop with the soft stuff, man. I don't live soft. I'm not soft. I don't want nothing soft around me. We've worked real hard to build a program here that's had 4 winning seasons for the first time in a gazillion years. We've worked real hard to do that. We don't do that by being soft. We don't do that by scheduling easy. We've done that because we schedule hard. We go out and take on challenges. We've beaten top 10 teams. We line up and we go, not because we do things soft. So whoever you're quoting, please tell that person that I said that they need to stop that. No, this schedule was put together 2 years ago. This schedule was not put together in August. The schedule is meant to be hard every year. That's why last year was 27.
What did you see out of Alonzo tonight? And can he bring some of that personality that may be missing with TJ and Justin out?
Yeah, he brings the problem with Alonzo is he's awful defensively. And playing Virginia is like the worst team in the country for him to play because he's not ready to defend. He played in high school in a 2-3 zone. He just wants to stand flat-footed. So he doesn't understand ball screen coverages and all that stuff. And when you miss 7 weeks of practice, you're kind of stuck with that. And you're playing the number 3 team in the country. That's why Coach Sarr, as much as he drives me crazy because he won't rebound, and offensively he's not as aggressive. He was at Michigan, by the way, but not as aggressive as I want him to be. He stabilizes us defensively. He's always in the right place. His ball screen. Last year, with our soft schedule, we had the 4th best ball screen defense in the country. 4th, okay? That's because Mike understands all those things. When you take him out, now you replace him with Felipe. Felipe's ball screen defense is not very good, okay? He's working on it, but it's a lot better than last year, but it's still not very good. Alonzo is absolutely lost on ball screen defense. So if you paid attention in the second half, every time they ran some stuff against their zone, and they got so many shooters and so many skill guys that play off the bounce that they spread our zone out. So when it spreads out, we got to match up, okay, and go to our contained man-to-man. They put Alonzo on a ball screen every time, every single time. So now all of a sudden, the guards are getting beat by 2 real good players in Ty Jerome and Kyle Guy. And but you saw his rebounding. He threw a high-low pass. I know it was a turnover, but he had the courage to make it. You've been covering us, John, 7 years. Since Limonis left here, who else has thrown a high-low pass other than Limonis? Nobody. I can't get them to throw it. Well, he's got the courage to throw it, so he's going to be all right. He made some layups, fought for the ball. We got to get him to post up. Alonzo, like all freshmen, play straight up. He's got to learn. He's too big and strong. He's got some strong legs. He's got to learn how to play lower so he can play stronger.
I guess kind of going with that a little bit, there was a sequence, I guess, in the first half where Felipe missed a cut, then the ball went out of bounds. There was a turnover, and AJ Lawson kind of corrected him and told him where he should have been coming out of a timeout. Is that unusual to see from a freshman directing things like that and kind of leading? And what's that say about, I guess, AJ and where he's at in his leadership and maturity?
Yeah, that's, AJ's defensively, he's had some hard matchups, and people are going at him. And he's got to grow up. Just simple as that. They got to grow up. The game's hard. You want to beat Virginia, you got to be like, you got to go. And him, Keyshawn, Alonzo, they play like freshmen. They're jogging around, they play hard for the first 2 passes, and then they relax, and then Virginia attacks you. But that's where some of my frustration with this team has come from, is that our freshmen are more engaged in trying to correct mistakes and talk to, other guys as to what needs to be done. I would hope that Felipe would be teaching AJ rather than AJ teaching Felipe. That's part of my concern. I get excited when I see that. We don't do that enough. We don't, in practice, we don't do that enough. That's I tell these guys all the time. I say, you guys are lucky that you don't have Michael Carrera as a teammate. You're lucky. Because if he tells you twice to do something and you don't do it, you don't have to worry about me. Dealing with him, not me. You did that with Sindarius. Sindarius would throw you off practice. Yo, get out. Get out. Don't come back in. I didn't have to do it. Sindarius, yo, get out. Don't come back in. And that's the stuff that we don't have. It goes back to the question earlier about our lack of personality and all that. It's all that's connected. But when I see that, I get excited. We need more of that.
Franco, we talked to Will about Evan doing both.
I got no idea how he does it.
Yeah, he practiced this morning football, right?
Yes.
Have you ever had a kid that can do it like that? Just kind of, basically handle that physically.
I got no idea. That kid loves to compete. He couldn't practice yesterday. Yesterday we practiced at the same time, so he was not at our practice, which is the right thing. He's got a bowl game to go play. He's got an opportunity to be a starting tight end next year. So he's got to be there. And Will's unbelievable. I can't believe Will, when he recruited Evan, he told Evan in front of me, if you want to play basketball, you can always play. For a head football coach to have a guy that has a chance to be a Sunday guy, that has a chance to be a starting tight end, and this year to continue to allow him to play basketball, that says a lot about Will, who he is as a man, that he will not deviate from his word. But Evan, I don't know how Evan does it. The other day, when was it? I'm losing my mind. What's today, Wednesday? Then Monday. Monday was their first practice, right? So I tell him, Evan, we were practicing like, they ended at, I don't remember, 12. We were starting at like 12:30. And I said to him, Evan, just whenever you're done, just come over, stand on the side, so you can at least see some of the adjustments we're trying to make for Virginia. So now practice starts, and I'm into practice. I'm not one of those guys that sits on the side and talks with everyone during practice. I'm engaged in what we're doing. Up and down. All of a sudden I turn around. He's running on the court, one shoe untied, trying to get in a drill. I'm like, where'd this guy come from? But he's an awesome kid. He played with a sense of toughness today. He got put on skates too, but at least he played with an effort and a toughness that we need on this team. And my hat goes off to him. I got no idea how that guy for the last 2 days has been. And by the way, our football team doesn't practice patty cake. They go, and it is like headbutting time. And I don't know how he takes that gear off and comes in here and plays the same day. I got no idea how, but credit to him. And I guess, is Mike still here? I ain't mad at you, man. I'm just telling you, I'm tired of, I ain't mad at you, man. You guys know I respect you guys. I'm just tired of that. We continue to speak on that negativity, and it's hard for me to overcome. That's why we got more Virginia fans than South Carolina fans at our game today. This reminded me of my first year here, when we're outnumbered. And that's because we continue to put out the wording on stories pertaining to our team that makes everyone think that we're not good enough. That's insulting to me, because you guys and us, have worked too hard to give this school a program that's worthy of lining up against the number 3 team in the country. When's the last time number 3 team in the country came into South Carolina for a non-conference game? Huh? When's the last time an ACC school other than Clemson came in this building for a non-conference game? We've worked real hard to make those things happen. So when I hear negative conotone about things that have taken place here before this year, you want to say that I don't know what I'm doing this year and all that, I get it, man. We stink, okay? We're not playing well. But for anyone to refer back to the work that's been done with a negative conotone, I don't, that's not my deal, man. That's not my deal. And we need to change the rhetoric. We need to change the wording of what we've done so our fans get excited, so they understand that I got a bunch of young bucks that are fighting their tails off to give us what we deserve, okay, that I'm not happy with right now, but they're fighting to give us what we deserve. So we don't do you think we go to Virginia next year? Do you really think we're going to outnumber their fans? Huh? That used to happen almost every game my first year here.